Oh, fuck.
Make sure we're live.
I'm in a weird headspace now because of that.
In weird headspace. Well, it is Thursday. And we just got off of listening to Tim Capello's I Still Believe. And I still believe that, people listen to this show. So we're going to get this going live, y'all. What's up? You already know what it is. It's Nooner Nation. Podcast for Nooners by Nooners. I am Bill. And joined now, as always, lovely Charley.
Oh.
And Jake.
Hey.
I actually was thinking this, Jake, and I made a note to bring this up. Are we going to get Shaved Jake back?
Shave Jake might be making an appearance because, I don't know if I can have the beard much longer with what I'm doing, so.
Oh, yeah, like you got to wear beard nets and shit?
No. We got to be wearing probably a respirator soon, so.
Oh.
Can't be having a beard.
Can't be having a beard with a respirator. Yeah, I mean, when you're like doing what you do, which is, cleaning out porta potties and whatnot, you got to have. Or, cooking meth. You are in Albuquerque, so.
Yeah, it's the meth. It's starting to go to the head,
Yeah. Next thing you know, you're going to be chucking pizzas on the roof of your house and driving a Pontiac Aztek.
Wait, you don't already chuck pizzas on your roof when you're drunk?
I mean, when I'm drunk, but I mean, doesn't everybody? I'm talking about like when you're sober or just aggravated because, your wife, your like blonde wife is just a total cunt about all this money you're making. And is she like, have you guys seen Breaking Bad?
Oh yeah, I've finished it all.
Isn't the wife like one of the most unlikable people?
Oh, she's terrible, but like at the same time, that's every woman who's married to someone who works at Los Alamos National Labs.
Yeah. Maybe. But the weird thing is, like, so my wife was rewatching the show, and we were talking about it. I was like, man, like, she is so unlikable. She's like, yeah, but the weird thing is, like, she's being a bitch because her husband is making meth. Right? Like,
no.
Like,
Well, not
so
even in that case. It's like,
hey.
he has lung cancer. Let him make the meth.
She said that. I was like, listen, bitch, don't bring logic into this. Okay? You're about to be an unlikable wife, Shut the fuck up and dislike the wife with
pregnant too.
Yeah.
Just this pregnant bitch that won't let me cook meth? God.
Yeah. Keeping all my money.
Maybe we're being a little harsh.
No. Nope. Fuck her. Did you see that? She's like keeping all the money in a pallet, like on stacks on a pallet, Like, come on.
She loved that money too, don't lie. Like, she can't deny that she didn't love that money.
Oh. My wife?
Didn't she fucked Frank, or was that his name?
Something, yeah. Her boss.
Oh, hey,
Like Frank.
Yeah,
I think Frank
with the
was
heated tile bathroom floor.
Yeah.
Hey, I'd fuck on some heated tile.
Heated tile is nice. Have you ever been in somewhere with heated tile or heated floors just in general?
No,
yeah.
Fucking
I'm not that
dope.
fan.
Like my mom's house has heated floors in the kitchen, and like here when it gets really cold in the winter, it's just like, so I'm gonna just hang out in the kitchen and lay on the kitchen floor.
Our cement gets so hot in the summertime you could cook an egg on it. So
yeah, we're gonna have to like get you a video of you doing that. Or like or from like Vegas Vacation where he's cooking the chicken on the rock.
yeah. Some people have put like cookies in their car in the windshield on like a cookie sheet, and it's kind of cooked. I don't know if it's gotten like completely cooked, but
well, have you ever heard the story about the lady? I think it was like maybe Texas, somewhere down there, where it gets hot. She had a can of like biscuits in the back seat of her car.
Oh no!
And it heated up.
Looked like a can of biscuits.
It blew up, and it hit like part of it came and hit her in the back of the head like pretty hard, and she fell back. She stood like at a red light, and it's like it expanded and just popped. So it was this loud bang, followed by like this knock in the back of her head, and she reaches back and feels.
She got
like,
JFK.
This goopy mess, and she thinks that somebody just shot her in the head. So she like doesn't move. She has like OnStar call 911 because she thinks she just got shot in the back of the head. And they come in, and it's just like this can of biscuits exploded, and she was feeling like the dough stuck to the back of her head.
They're just like, man, if your brain was leaking out, you wouldn't been able to call.
Yeah. You know, they were like, oh my God, like, there's no way. Like, you know, like the whole time the EMTs were going there, they were like, what are we going to see? And it was like,
Yeah.
it's biscuits.
Biscuits.
Like, wait, what? Some lady's like shot in the back of the head and the bullet didn't come out and like she's still speaking? Like, oh my God, like what is this? They think they're about to be on like Rescue 911 for some crazy ass shit. It turns out it's just, yeah, like some fucking goddamn cinnamon rolls blown up all over the back of this bitch's head.
I was going to say that reminds me of another hospital story about we heard that we'd gotten someone who was shot in the face and we all got up and ran to look. But it was really underwhelming. It was like it was a flesh
Yeah, it's
wound.
like just a hole.
No, it was just a flesh wound. It was
Yeah,
just
like
a little bitty scrape, and I was like, ah.
Damn it. Like you wanted to see somebody with like half their face missing. You know?
I mean, when
We
you
did-
work
we
in a
did it-
hospital,
We didn't get that kind of stuff at our hospital. It all went to the county hospital, so we didn't see anything crazy like that. It was just people coming in with abdominal pain while they're eating Pizza Hut, and it's just
Oh,
like, yeah, you need to be at the ER right now.
Yeah.
That makes
Oh
sense.
yeah. Yeah, have you ever spent time in an ER before, like in the waiting room?
oh, they're entertaining.
No, but I've had to listen to them because they were my patients.
Yeah. First
It's
off,
awful.
if you ever have an actual emergency and go to the ER, no matter what the problem is, and whatever, they're like, what's wrong? Like, oh, like I have a bone sticking out of my arm, like came off a ladder, like whatever, and I'm having chest pains. Because once you say chest pains, they're like, heart attack, get this man in there right now.
Yeah.
Because I had
Chest X-ray.
a roommate, kind of this big gym rat dude, who also like smoked. On top of being a gym rat, he smoked like 2 packs a day, worked third shift, drank like a 12-pack of beer. You know, normal behavior, really. But
Hardworking American.
when you stack that on top of like, one day he came home with like this case of what looked to be energy drinks, but they had like some sort of ungodly amount of caffeine in them, and also ephedra, and then protein and creatine. There's like these weird fucking things that like he bought out of the back of some dude's car because they're like illegal to sell in America or some shit, right? And I think we looked it up, like 1 8-ounce. It was about the size of like the small Red Bull cans, like the original Red Bull cans. You know, whatever those are, like 8 ounces or something like that.
6 to 8.
Yeah. But one of those had like 6 times the amount of caffeine as a 20-ounce Mountain Dew.
God damn.
So he's drinking those. And then we also at one point walked in on him eating. He had a block of Velveeta cheese and a 3-pound summer sausage, just taking bites off of each one of them. And we're like, dude, what do you do? He's like, dude, it's like beef and cheddar. I was like, no, it's not. Like,
Beef and cheddar. God
like
damn.
that's not beef. That's a 3-pound summer sausage. And that is not even cheese. That's like Vaseline, like yellow cheese flavored Vaseline you're chomping down on. So anyways, one morning he wakes me and my other roommate up. He's like, I need to go to the hospital. My wife's like, dude, like I can't. My chest hurts. Can't fucking breathe. We're like, oh God, he's having a heart attack. Having a heart attack. Having a heart attack. We get him there. There is literally a dude in the waiting room. A nurse is bandaging up his hand, and his severed finger is in a Ziploc bag of ice. And they're making him wait, right? Because I guess he chopped his finger off somehow. And we take this like 20-year-old kid in there. He's like, he's having chest pains, like heart attack. Get him back there now. So now, from now on, I'm like, yeah, like if I go to the ER, like, yeah, I don't know if you've noticed, like my foot is missing from my leg, and I'm having chest pains. So it turns out what had happened was he went a little too hard on chest day, and like inflamed all the cartilage between his rib cage, and like it was like spreading his ribs apart.
Holy shit.
So
Oh
I'm sure
my
it was fucking
God.
painful, but he wasn't having a heart attack.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, he might have had one by now. I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a while.
The finger, though. Do you know where it was severed at?
It looked to be like almost the full index finger. I mean, if it wasn't down to like the actual main knuckle, it was pretty damn close. So
Was it on ice?
it was in a Ziploc bag full of ice, and a nurse was in the ER waiting room, like bandaging up his hand because they didn't have time to like see him immediately to sew this finger back on. So
And that just sounds suspicious to me.
who knows?
Maybe he was homeless. Because, like, I remember one time I was in the ER when I broke my leg. Well, I wasn't broke my leg. I thought I broke my leg, and it turns out I just really fucked up my ankle.
Oh.
And I, like, fucked up the tendon or something and almost snapped it. But, yeah, that's besides the point. But I was there, and there was a homeless guy who was legit bleeding out and had just been shot in the parking lot that they were making wait.
Oh.
Oh my god!
Like, we heard the pop and everything, and then they came running in, and he was like, oh, fuck, and, like, the cops were with him, and they were like, "You need to wait, sir." We're like, what the fuck?
Hey, well, you know, maybe the people that shot him were being nice. Like, hey, meet us in the parking lot of the
We thought maybe the
hospital
cops
because we're
shot
going to
him.
shoot you, but we hope you make it.
Oh man, I live in a smaller city, so I'm glad for that. Our
Yeah.
patients didn't have to do that. It's like if you were waiting, it was because like you were there for a stomach ache.
Yeah, or like I heard a lot of I had a really good friend of mine growing up. His mom was an ER nurse. And a lot, I mean, or maybe it's just a lot of what she told us about was the crazy shit. But a lot of
But you remember.
a lot of things involving things not supposed to be up somebody's ass, getting stuck up somebody's ass, or things that are supposed to be inside of your ass, coming out of your ass. So, it was nuts. She told me one time a guy tried to like, thought he had a hemorrhoid and he was just going to like cut it off. And it turned out to be like a prolapse. So he ended up like literally like cutting, like almost completely separating like his like rectum.
Cut his asshole off.
Yeah, pretty much. And then, you know, the inevitable like girlfriend sticks a non-stopped and vibrator up boyfriend's ass. Can't get it out. So riding all the way to the hospital with a vibrator going off in your ass.
Do y'all listen to Jason Ellis? He had a story on, I think it was Ryan Sickler. Is that his name?
Yeah,
On
yeah.
the How Do You
Recently,
Do podcast?
I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that podcast yet. But yeah, I know he was on Ryan Sickler recently.
He had a funny story about that same thing. Do you want me to
Go for it.
tell it, or
I
so?
mean, you give us the gist in case people haven't heard it yet. I haven't heard it yet, but
It was there was a sex toy that was in the shape of a baby, and they put it up a guy's butt,
Oh, I've heard about these. They're called butt babies.
but it doesn't have a stopper. And so, disclaimer, anything you put in the rectum, there needs to be a stopper because it will suction it up.
oh yeah.
It will squeeze it on. Yeah.
If you don't
You-
know
and
that, you shouldn't be buying anything other than like an external vibrator. You know.
A lot of people don't know. They don't know. They don't
This
know.
little-
I mean, I guess if there's no stopper on it, at least have some sort of like eyelet on the back you can tie a string to in case you need to fish it out.
Yeah.
Or fly a
And-
kite with.
Or there
And
you
then
go.
like, yeah.
Or tail, put a
So
little tail on it.
definitely don't put anything like a bottle up that's open, because if you try to pull it out, it will pull everything out with it.
Yeah, colon
So
cleanse.
don't do that either.
It's like putting a light bulb in your mouth.
Sure.
I've never heard the light bulb. I know I've heard
Not
the
at
one about
all,
like
but okay.
I've heard the one about like putting a billiard ball in your mouth. Like apparently like the average human mouth can somehow get like a billiard ball into it, but you
In,
can't
but
get
not
it
out. Break your teeth. So, okay, so it went up the rectum. They couldn't get it out. He had to go to the ER. I guess they couldn't get it out from his anus, so they literally had to go through his abdomen into his rectum to fish this out. And so they were like, wait a minute, he had a C-section, he had a baby.
I guess,
So
yeah.
essentially,
Fuck.
yeah. So it's just like, oh my gosh. And the guys don't talk anymore.
I would assume not. Jason Ellis, I believe, was he involved? Was he personally involved in this thing, or he just like knew somebody this happened to?
I don't know if he was there. He might have been there, but it was two people that he knows.
Gotcha. Because I think Jason Ellis is like, I don't even know. Is he gay? Sexually fluid?
I think more sexually fluid, bisexual. I mean, bisexual. I mean, that's what.
I mean,
Anyway,
are they going to put him on
I
a
see
Bud?
his-
Are they
I
going
see
to put
his
him on a
outfit.
Bud Light can soon?
But in that podcast, he was talking like, I think I'm gay, and it's just like, well, it sounds like you're like, like fluid, pansexual, whatever that is. It's just like that.
Yeah.
But at the
Well-
same time, does it fucking matter? It doesn't fucking matter.
I mean, I don't care. Well, to me, I don't really.
It's what you like. If it's like you like what you
It is
like.
what it is. Like to me, that just means like so. Again, like we don't have to go down this rabbit hole, but like the whole pansexual thing or whatever that is,
Like the fuck pants.
it's just like okay, like does that just mean you're bisexual? Like you'll just have sex with either one? Isn't that what that means? Like no, bisexual is like this. Like I don't know. I'm
I mean,
confused.
essentially, because either way, well, like
The
you
way
still have
I've
to get it down, but
It's basically like being bisexual, but like you don't hook up with people. It's kind of like you fall in love, or is that demisexual? I don't know. I got an explanation about it the other day, and it was one of those things where it's like, wait, so you consider it a sexuality that you just won't fuck a random person?
But isn't
it's too confusing. I can't do this.
I thought that was asexual, where you didn't actually like you weren't attracted to anybody.
That's what I thought too, and I was like, I give up. I can't do this. I can't
I
keep.
know.
I can't.
God.
It's too much. It's overloading my brain.
I'm attracted to dirty girls. What does that make me? Where's my label? Damn it! I want my
A
alphabet letter.
pervert.
True. I don't know if it's a I'm not Am I perverted? Maybe. To me, like
Charlie, quick with that.
labeling somebody a pervert means like they're like
Is this gonna be
I
another
don't
real?
fucking know.
Bill realizes
it
he's
might
a
be.
pervert.
Yeah. Timestamp this one before I go into it. But like out of like saying something like that guy's a pervert means like he's like snooping in like the girl's bathroom or something, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I was listening to a Joey Diaz on a podcast, and he was talking about like
See
taking
all
women's
these labels: pervert, creeper, asexual, pansexual, vegetarian. Like I don't fucking know anymore.
fucking
Isn't that the funny
vegans.
thing? Like, I grew up in the era of like, don't label me,
Mhm.
don't put labels on me, and it was like that was great because it was just like, yeah, fuck you.
And now it's just like label me harder, daddy.
Right.
Oppress me, daddy.
Label me harder.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, maybe it's like a victim kink. Like maybe
Maybe.
it's like a shame kink.
Oh, you're onto something there.
maybe I would be like.
Mm.
I would be like choking the old lady later during sex. I'd be like, "Oh yeah, you like that, you little cisgendered bitch?" It's like, "Yes, label me." And then
I mean, you could call her like
and then I spit in her mouth, and she slaps me in the
boar-
face, and I sleep
a
on the
borsal
couch.
or whatever it's called. Do that too. See how that goes over.
What was that?
Nothing. Not even worth re-mentioning. Let's
I think it
Oh,
is
that was
worth
an ad.
re-mentioning. What was this you just brought up? We got Martini Charley on the line here.
It was stupid. It was stupid.
Speaking of Martini Charley, you were talking about last episode. You lost count of the martinis, right? How'd that go for you?
I don't remember. It's very Swiss cheese.
Yeah, that's how you got that scar on your head.
I might have fallen. I might have been confronted with an evil wizard with a snake nose. It was all a blur.
Mitch
I'm
McConnell.
not sure. I just know the next day I was sick as fuck.
Oh yeah, martinis will do that. I tried warning you on that episode, man. Martinis, especially if you're sitting down drinking them. You stand up at the end of the night. You're like, oh, yeah, this
I'm
could
in
be
danger.
fun. Yeah, yeah. You're Ralphie on the back of the bus. I'm in danger.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn.
Yeah. You know, the jazz cabbage doesn't help that either.
Oh, you're on that reefer, devil's lettuce.
Allegedly.
Does it make you want to like go out and have sex with black men the way the government makes you want to think it does?
Wow.
Those are sober thoughts for Charlie. so
Have you
That's-
never seen, like, you do know, like, that's part of the thing. That was like the propaganda against marijuana.
Was that part of Reefer Madness?
It makes white
Yeah.
women suck
That was the
minorities.
whole, I'm pretty sure that was like the whole point of reefer madness was
You
that
drowned your babies and
that
you'll
it made like the reefer made black men want to go rape white women, and it made white women want to listen to jazz and have sex with black men. It's been well
I do
documented.
like jazz.
Do you really?
I mean, not really.
But what kind of jazz? Because
I like the jazz cabbage.
I've been to like somebody's like, oh, do you want to like come to like this jazz thing with me? And I'm like, I mean, okay. Thinking it was like jazz, you know, like New Orleans jazz. I don't really want to say that, you know, JJ's jazz. But it turned out to be white people jazz.
White people jazz is terrible.
I was gonna say, like, who created it, dude? Like, it's fine to say.
Like,
It's okay.
where it's like, it was
White
like,
people jazz should not be a thing. No.
it was like just some dude like
that's not
up
okay.
there. He's like, I wrote this for my girlfriend Jenny, and he like pulls out like a flute. It's like, and there's like all these like people drinking like really shitty red wine, like, oh yeah,
And they're like
It's
snapping
like-
and shit at
like
him.
slam poems, but
Oh
in
my
music form.
yeah, then Mike Myers got up there with a cigarette. Woman.
That is literally what
That's a
came to
deep.
my
That's a
head
that's a
when-
deep cut Mike Myers joke for people that might not know that one. So I Married an Axe Murderer. Go watch it. It's a funny movie.
Oh my
Have you
gosh,
seen that?
that's so funny. I guess
No.
I believe Tom Waits would probably be the only white jazz musician that's acceptable.
Kenny G.
And Kenny G.
I said that's acceptable.
Oh. Charlie's not that white.
Here's the thing, though. Have you ever seen Kenny? Have you ever seen Kenny G?
I've seen him break that Guinness World Record of like the longest note held. He like breathed through his nostrils
He can
and out through the
he can
clarinet.
cyclical breathe, where he's breathing in through his nostrils and out through his mouth, like in a cycle.
Yeah, I learned about him on I Lived the '80s on VH1.
The crazy thing, like, so you've seen Kenny G. First off, I'm not gonna talk shit on the dude. Never met him, but not
He's-
necessarily the most attractive guy on the planet.
Even nerdier, Pauly Shore.
No,
I bet he slings
hair?
dick though.
no, he's like Weird Al, but less talented, right? Like,
He's normal Al.
yeah, normal Al. He's cul-de-sac Al, right? Like he's the fucking
He's
dude.
just
that lives in the
Al.
street. Yeah, just Al. Alvin.
Albert.
And then he made his living playing a clarinet. But I guarantee you that dude somehow has probably fucked some of the hottest, craziest women on the planet.
Yeah,
Oh, he lays pipe.
that's how it'd be. Well, then
He
he
likes
got money,
clarinet,
so then
yeah.
it was really like that too. So it's like that. It'd be like that though.
Some Nancy at his jazz concert, you know, had a little too many cabs. Next thing you know, she's pulling her REI panties down, and you know, they get stuck on her Birkenstocks on the way down, on the way back to the dressing room to go fuck Kenny G.
All that you
Kenny!
smell is sweat and patchouli.
Yeah. Oh. Like patchouli and lambskin condoms.
Those are by far the
Because I
worst.
want to be safe, but I also want to be like nature conscious. You know how long it takes a latex condom to dissolve in a landfill?
It's like, do you know how much environmental impact this kid would have for the next
Yeah, but
80
like,
years?
Oh no, those are pro-choice people. You know, there's no environmental impact from a kid if an oopsie happens at a Kenny G concert. You know, I wonder how many kids have been created at a Kenny G concert.
I wonder how many kids have been aborted because of a Kenny G concert. That's the real question.
Ooh. Jake with the hard-hitting questions. This is why I need a producer. Like Google, how many? Like,
I don't think that would be on Google.
we can find it.
These days? I mean, there's probably a stat somewhere.
I really need to find just like some like liberal arts major girl to be like, do you want to produce a podcast?
Do you like Kenny G?
Do you like Kenny G?
Do you like Kenny G? Do you drink red wine?
Do you have pronouns? You do? Great, I've got a job
You
for
like
you.
pina coladas?
Basically that, but like a college progressive.
But then I just offer her one day if we get there, just offer her so much money to do the job that she can't leave. And then one day we just convert her, like we just make her sell out of all these things. I sound like a really terrible person right now.
Bill's talking about essentially grooming a person.
Yeah,
For money, I mean, hey, that's Hollywood, baby.
It's nothing like, you know,
Showbiz.
it's nothing like a millionaire trying to like offer your wife millions of dollars to have sex with you. But you know,
Wouldn't that be an indecent proposal?
but I mean, do liberal arts majors like, does their like physical and mental psyche even matter? I mean, they can't even pick a real major.
Yeah, it's very true. Like it's just like general education.
As I say that, Charlie's over here like, oh, I have a writing major.
I have a business administration bachelor's with a 3.5 GPA, and I can't get a job, so fuck off.
I got a diploma.
I got
Woo!
I got
Fucking
upstaged. I don't know if I've told this story before, but it reminded me of this because my wife brought it up the other day when she really wanted to like cut me deep. My high school graduation, the kid in front of me was like in the special ed class, had been in a wheelchair forever. Graduation day is the day he decides to get up and walk his retarded ass across that stage right before me. I was like, God damn it. I had like a really funny shirt underneath my thing I was going to bust out, but I can't follow that. Like, how are you going to follow that?
How dare this asshole walks?
He probably never walked again. Like, really? This is your moment to shine? Like, you really, like, you're in the special ed class. You deserved that diploma? Come on.
You deserve that fucking walk, though.
God damn it.
It's like, I'm gonna steal the fucking thunder from all you hoes.
One day, I'm going to find that dude and have sex with his wife.
I mean, if he's in a wheelchair, they probably have a thing where it's a mutual understanding. You probably
What
could.
if he's into it, right? He
Oh.
likes being cucked.
I know. I don't want to name names, but I used to know somebody who was married to a disabled person, and they had an open marriage, so the
Yeah.
other person could get fucked.
Like, I look over in the corner, he's sitting there. I don't know if he's into it or if he just drools like that.
He uses it as lube.
He was always touching himself anyway, so it's kind of hard to tell.
That one broke me. That one broke me.
I'm going to hell for that one. Oh, that was awesome.
All right. Anyways, like and
Damn.
subscribe on YouTube. Go out to iTunes, rate us a 5-star, leave a review about how the mentally handicapped cuck uses his drool for lube.
David said wheelchair.
Woo! They'll leave a 5-star on Spotify. Also,
That's my governor, baby.
maybe we could reach out to our one sponsor we have for now about making a hat that says wheelchair. That's repcps.com. You know them. They have the show your butthole hats. God damn, you fucked me up with that one, Charlie. Can't even get to the ad read.
Sorry.
So yeah, God damn it. repcps.com. Use the promo code Nooner for 10% off. Get the hats. You know, you've seen them. I had one up here, but I think my wife's friend stole my free hugs and butt plugs beanie. Which is fine. I could never get my wife to wear it. Don't know why. I thought it was pretty funny. Don't have the same sense of humor. Just like if she ever listens to this episode, it's going to be a very odd conversation to have with her. But anyways, yeah. So go to repcps.com. Use 10% off for your whole order. Also, if you need custom screen printed T-shirts, totes, koozies that say use spit for lube or whatever. What was it? Drool.
Drool on it before you put it in.
Yeah. Make drool lube again. You know, there's an idea. Red hats make drool lube again.
I know a few comedians that would totally wear one of those.
Oh yeah. So yeah, go to minorleaguestudio.com or find it on social media somewhere. Again, we're 61 episodes in, and I finally found my breaking point, which is, you know.
Would the hats have like wheelchairs on them?
Yeah. Yes. Oh, of course they would. The hat, we'd actually have custom made ones. They'd be the big foam hats, and it would be a wheelchair, and the wheels would like cover your ears, and they'd have like Bluetooth ear pods in them.
Good for any occasion, really.
And then it'd be literally like Stephen Hawking's wheelchair with him in it, and you push his head down, and like literally lube comes out of his mouth. That's another merch idea. Little figurines, like Terry Schiavo's figurines, where you push your head and like lube comes out. Because I don't know if you guys have ever had this problem. I run into it all the time, where it's like, oh, like it's time for like spontaneously, like, oh, hey, let's do that thing that needs the lube. You know, like next thing I know, I'm like trying to scramble to find the lube. Fuck, that one's empty. Oh, how about this one? Like no, like get it out. Squeezing it out. Can't get any. If I had a little Terry Schiavo lube dispenser on the other side, and every time you push it, it's got a little speaker. It goes.
Could save you that $400 that I've had to pay quite a few times.
Yeah. There's not even here's the thing, the $400 is not the bitch of the part. It's having to go like drive through the crowd without hitting anybody on the way in.
Oh, I don't go with them. I just give them the money. And
I'm a gentleman, I guess. I don't know. I'm also just like waiting to just run over somebody. They're on the road. Fuck them. But, you know. Anyways. God damn. This has been an episode already. We haven't even gotten to the point of this. I kind of forgot the point of all of this. By which I mean life in general. And I'm out of booze. But anyways.
Should we intermission for a drink?
Yeah, Jake, do the intermission. No, I'm actually what I'm gonna do is text my wife and say like, "Hey, give the old DMX. Hey, yo, bitch.
Start barking at her.
Bring me another vodka seltzer. How bad boy roll? Can you bring thy?"
And then
So
finish
anyone-
up with the X gonna give it to you.
Gonna give it to you. No, she hears that all the time.
I'm sure she does.
So no, she sent me a meme actually last night about like, oh, you should sing to your kids. And then it was like DMX like, y'all gonna make me lose my mind. I was thinking
That's
of,
actually a
I
good
immediately
one.
thought of the lyrics from DMX, What These Bitches Want.
I don't know if I've heard that one actually, or I can't
I
recall it.
can't finish the line because of anything I've said on here. There's maybe 2 words I can't say, and that's one of them because I don't say it ever, never in my life. Even when JJ tells me to.
In the bedroom.
He does. I don't know if you ever heard Donald Glover's crack about that.
No.
He has like this bit about. It starts off with him talking about autocorrect, and like he'll get like, because he also like he's Childish Gambino or whatever. He's like, I'll think of like a rap lyric and go to put it in my iPhone, and he'll go to like to write the N word, and he'll like try to autocorrect him, and he's like, no iPhone, write it. But
Do
then,
it, Steve.
but then like he'll go to type in something else now since he's done it so much. It'll like try to autocorrect to that. He's like, what the fuck, iPhone? But then he goes into talking about how he was sleeping with an Armenian girl, which is the black girls of white girls. And he has this whole crack about who the black girls of every race is. Like, I forgot the whole thing. Like Koreans, or I think maybe the black girls, the Asian girls. I'm not gonna get into it. But
I mean, it's got to be a little weird for his assistant to get a text message if he's trying to say, "Get me some ice from the market."
Fuck Christ. But then he's like, oh yeah, like we're in like you know, in the middle of some pretty hot sex, and she grabs me by the face and says, "Fuck me harder with that N-word, dick." She's like, and I immediately stopped. I'm gonna give away. If you don't want to hear the punchline, plug your ears, but I'm gonna give it away. She's like, I immediately stopped, looked her square in the face, and came harder than I ever have in my life.
Damn it. Damn it.
But anyways, HBO's just said they're going to do a Harry Potter series. So I guess it's going to be 7+ seasons.
La 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 la.
Like, I can't do trap shit. Like, but yeah. So I guess each season. Right now, the plan is each season is going to be one of the books, right? Starting with the first one, which is pretty dope. We're going to go from the conversation we were just having into me being my Potterhead nerd shit. But there's a lot of stuff, just like anything, if you're into any books that get made to movies, there's a lot of things that get left out, right?
Mhm.
So if you're making a 12 to 15 episode, hour and a half long each episode, you can pretty much put everything in there. But I guess it's going to take place over, they also said they've committed 10 years to finish, from start to finish, from when they start filming it to the end of the last season, which there's 7 books. So, I mean, if you did a season a year, that's 7 years. But, I mean, I don't know how many HBO series you've ever been really hooked on.
I think HBO takes longer than a year because, like, think of
yeah.
Euphoria. It's not going to come out for another 2 years.
Yeah.
So they're taking a while. However, for the Harry Potter thing, if they're going to be using the same characters,
Well,
since I'm assuming
the material's there too. A lot of those times, I feel like what they do, like Euphoria,
that's
the first season was a hit. They wrote the first season also as I haven't seen the second season just because the first season was so fucking nuts to me that it's like I watched it. I don't know if I can handle a second season of this wild shit, but like a second season of Euphoria, I felt like the way they left it off, not entirely difficult to write in the realm of HBO. HBO probably employs some of the best series writers out there.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think HBO does series stuff probably the best of anybody out there. And with the Harry Potter, but so they did season 2 of Euphoria, And then I think the reason why they're waiting so long is like they didn't have anything lined up. Like, let's see how season 2 does and see if we're going to greenlight it a season 3, right? Oh, it did great. Let's do a season 3. Let's take 8 months to write it, another 12 months to shoot it, editing, marketing, blah, 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 2 years, right? They did the same thing with Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones was the first couple seasons, like boom, 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 like one, a season every year. They ran out of source material because George R.R. Martin, I think, might be dead at this point. Can't fucking write anything.
No, he's still spotted around.
Yeah, isn't he like
That
a
ass
huge,
is always rolling around Santa Fe.
is he? I think he's a huge Jets fan, which is weird. But, so yeah, like, so with the Harry Potter thing, like, I'm hoping they don't do those huge lags between seasons because there
Probably
are
gonna be like 14 months between seasons.
I was thinking a year. It just depends on, I guess, how many episodes they do per season, right? If they do an 8 episode season, which they tend to like to do a little bit now, that's 8 weeks. So you're talking about 2 months out of a year. If you're giving a season 2 months out of your year and then making people wait another 14 months for the next one, there's been plenty of shows that I've just been like, you know what, fuck it. Like it started out, it was like there's some hotness to it. When they re-release it, like, or when they come out with the next season 2 years later, I'm like, I got other shit going on, So
Yeah. I do
But
think
it's Harry Potter.
I think editing takes longer than filming sometimes, though.
Oh yeah.
And then whatever special effects they need to add, that adds
I think that's going to be
more time.
That's going to be the time-consuming thing. But I mean, I can't see it being any from a production standpoint. Obviously, like the show is going to be a lot different than Game of Thrones, but I think the production side of everything is going to be very much Game of Thrones, which is right in their wheelhouse, right? So
That's what I was wondering. How dark are they going to make this?
I don't think they're going to go dark. I think I thought about that too, because like, oh man, they're going to go. But whereas like Euphoria, you're getting into that kind of tipping point for a lot of people, myself included. There was even in the first season, there was some scenes that if I thought about it, I'd get really uncomfortable with. 'Cause like, oh, this is high school. Like, it's supposed to be high school kids.
Yeah.
Right now with Harry Potter, you're talking about kids, right?
12-year-old.
I mean, they have the potential to go into like Harry's nightmares being a little darker and more graphic, like how they were in the books.
Yeah, that's how I meant. I didn't mean like sexual
Oh.
at all. I meant like dark.
I put it out on Instagram today. Like, oh, who do you think they're going to cast for this? Everyone's like, trans people. I was like, why is everybody in the same wave? Like, they put a trans
Lizzo and
person on
Jack
Bud
Black.
Light. It doesn't mean they're going to fucking put trans people in. And
I wonder if it's like just because everybody hated on J.K. Rowling for that. It's I don't think that was fair.
I mean,
That's her.
whatever. I mean, if you want to come after me for this, and I don't know, I don't get involved in a lot of the media shit about most things just because who actually fucking knows. But I think, isn't her whole stance was just kind of like trans people shouldn't use like other bathrooms or something, like kind of that thing, like, or like, oh, I think like if you have a penis, you can do whatever you want, but you're a man.
No, she said something about like being a woman or something along those lines. Like it shouldn't. I don't believe it should have been
me see
anything
what she said.
weird.
Look it up.
Yeah, we should look it up. Yeah, because I think a lot of people like, misconstrued things, and then it became,
Well, I mean,
a can of worms sort of thing.
and I think we might have brushed on this last episode with the Bud Light Dylan. What's that guy's name? Dylan
Mulvaney.
Mulvaney. It seems to be, and here's the thing. I'll also preface it with this. When I say like it seems to be this in media because I've never really run into somebody who has the outrage that the internet seems to make people seem outraged. I've met some people that are, woke, I guess, but they're not like, spitting venom at me because of whatever like my stance is on politics or something. But do people really care anymore? Like, do people care? Like, I don't care if somebody's transgendered. And also, but also like, if some guy was like walking into a girl's bathroom, like, hey, you can't go in there. Well, I'm trans. Like, oh, are you? Cool, but like, can you just use the men's bathroom because you have a dick?
That's essentially to the effect of what J.K. Rowling said. I just sent it to you guys. I think Charlie's looking at it right now, but she said in an essay on her website, when you throw open the doors of bathrooms and changing rooms to any man who believes or feels he's a woman, you open the door to any and all men who wish to come inside.
Mm.
Hmm.
And that's when the
There's
abortions
some.
come. Yeah,
I'm just going to say it goes back to what Quagmire said on Family Guy. Pre-op or post-op?
Yeah. I'll get on board with that. Who's the really hot one?
Blair White?
Yeah. Is she post-op?
She has a dick, I think.
Damn it.
But she is hot.
Who?
Like, at Blair White, at that point, I'd just sacrifice it, close my eyes, and pretend it went all the way through.
No.
Blair White. I
Never
think she's like big in the gaming world, right?
Gaming and she's in the same circle as like Black Rifle and stuff like that. She hangs out with Alex Jones and all them.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan.
She
Are
was
you
on Joe
serious?
Rogan, right? She did an episode with Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I think she's done. Yeah, one with Joe.
Right. So,
Charlie just saw Blair White. Oh yeah.
what do you think?
Wow.
Would you suck that dick?
No.
What if she sent you dick pics?
No, man. I like dudes.
But you know it's better than a dude. A dude with nice tits.
Maybe for you.
I'm gonna cut that out because somebody's gonna clip that, and
They'll play.
that'll play. That'll play. I've been in that studio, but I've seen those TVs. They're fucking massive. But yeah. So, anyways, going back to the reboot again, like you're talking about the dark thing. I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm excited. I know a lot of like the traditional, like Potter people, like want it to be there, and I get it. It seems like originally I was like, well, it hasn't been that long. The first movie came out 25 years ago, so
Yeah. Was it 03?
I think it was 2001.
2001 was 20 years ago. Or no, wait, no, that was 23 years ago.
I know the last movie was over 10 years ago. So
Yeah, no, I think it came out in 2001 because I was 3 and I was terrified of the fucking troll.
and then you grew
was
up to be
12.
one. Who knew?
It was nuts. I was 12 when it came out, so I was like, I'm the fucking same age as Harry
2001.
Potter, bitch.
So 2001. So it's what, 22 years old? I mean, I think the idea of having HBO make it into a series as opposed to just remaking the movies is a pretty good idea.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see how they do it because also you can see the transition from like the first film, which was like kind of for kids around that 12-year
Oh, it
old
progressively
age.
gets darker. So do the books. So
Yeah, so that's what I'm wondering. Like, are they just going to keep as it progressively goes? Like, are they going to keep that kind of?
yeah, they could. 'Cause, I mean, in reality, it's not that they
Self-esteem?
did that because, like, in the movies, they just did that. Like in the books, the themes just get progressively darker.
Starts dealing with death and more. as
So
the kids
yeah,
get
I'm
older.
excited to see what HBO does with it because I mean, granted, a lot of the series, all the series I think I've watched through them have been very adult oriented. I can't imagine they're gonna make this adult oriented, maybe teen oriented, or I don't know. That's where my question marks come in. Is like, who is this gonna be for? I mean, because in reality, you can adapt the books pretty well and maintain a scalable audience. Because even as an adult, like I read the first book when it first came out, which was 97. I was like 9 years old. My mom read it to me because I couldn't read at 9. I still can't read. But my notes It's all wingdings and emojis. So, but yeah, I think they can maybe scale it to where you just keep the themes of the book, and it works, because if my 8-year-old, or by the time these first start, my oldest is 7 now, and he loves the Harry Potter movies. I'm assuming they've just now said they've given the green light to start production, so it's gonna be 2 years before the first one comes out, I would assume. Maybe like 9, 10. Yeah, like I would have no problem with him watching the adaptation of the books, because it does get progressively darker, but he's getting progressively older.
He'll be 20 by the time
just
it's
like
done.
the characters in the book, right? So, which is another reason why in my Instagram post I asked, like, who would you cast for the adult leads? Because I think, like, Harry Potter, all the kids, like the main characters in the book, the kids, they're gonna have to cast. Everyone just go for 10 years. They're gonna have to cast child actors, just like they did in the movies, because and you're not gonna know who these people are. They're gonna be not off the street necessarily, but you're not gonna know who they are, because they're gonna have to cast. I mean, Harry Potter's supposed to be what, like 11, I think, in the first book.
10, 11?
He turns 12.
Is it 12?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if they'll cast a 12-year-old. They might, but maybe a 14-year-old to play Harry Potter to start off with. So they're gonna have to pull from people you've never heard of before. Because I don't know any 14-year-old famous actors they'd cast for this. But
even then, I hope for the adults that they kind of still go with the whole no-name thing, because I don't want to see any like superstars that I've already seen play other kind of generic roles.
That's what I was thinking too. Like, find, at least for those roles. Now, if you want to sprinkle in some, like Alan Rickman, like the adult crew, the cast in the original movies were well-known actors for the most part.
Very well-known.
R.I.P. Alan Rickman, by the way.
Yeah, no, that.
His first movie ever was Die Hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on.
Damn.
He was a theatrical. The way I've read it before, and like, one day somebody will hear this and come after me for not knowing the exact history. I think he was like an off-Broadway dude in London. Like a theatrical guy.
That sounds right. Like he did, like he acted, but he didn't do
like he was a
movies.
theater actor.
Yeah.
Like a classical theater actor. And then whoever they casted for Hans's thing for Die Hard, like, couldn't do it. And then he knew like one of the producers or somebody in casting, and they're like, "Oh, can you come and just read for this?" And he read for it, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, like, we don't need to cast anybody. You're going to do it." And he's like, "Okay."
Oh, shit.
And turned out he's like
That's
one of the most
impressive.
iconic villains ever, right?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't
I've
that
never
kind of
seen
how
Die Hard.
Harrison Ford got Star Wars?
It was supposed to be Christopher Walken that played Han Solo.
He was like an electrician or a carpenter on set, right?
I think he was
No.
a carpenter.
He was doing carpentry. He had done a movie called American Graffiti.
Oh, he was in that?
Yeah, he's the antagonist in that green Chevy that they drag race at the end, and he wrecks.
Huh.
He was in that. I think he was just like a guy, like he was doing like blue collar stuff, and went and auditioned to like try acting, and got into American Graffiti, which was Spielberg. And
Ron Howard.
Ron Howard was in it.
That was Ron Howard.
Ron Howard was no, pretty sure Spielberg did American Graffiti.
Okay.
Because Ron Howard's in it. Like, he's he's one of the main
I know
characters.
he had something to do with it.
And I think he might have been.
I
mean,
thought
he was
it was his first.
I think he was. Ron Howard was doing like Happy Days at the same time, with the Fonz. But then, like the Harrison Ford thing, Christopher Walken, I think, auditioned for it, and they offered it to him, and he turned it down. And they needed somebody to come in to do a read, not like a casting read, like a one-to-one read with another audition. with Han Solo, and Steven Spielberg reached out. It's like, hey, this dude who was in my last movie, I think would do really great.
George Lucas.
George Lucas did Star Wars. Or did George Lucas do American Graffiti?
The characters are based on by George Lucas. The director of American Graffiti was Bill L. Norton.
Maybe I have.
So it's Lucas. That's the connection.
Maybe I have that mixed up to where, again, been drinking, as I tend to do occasionally.
So Spielberg did Star Wars.
No. George Lucas did Star Wars. Spielberg did Indiana Jones.
I think Spielberg worked with. He did.
I think they both worked on Star Wars together.
They all work together. Harrison Ford knows them both. He's getting Eiffel Towered. He got,
No, they were raping him on a pinball machine.
And now
they all touch tips.
And now he gets high and flies airplanes into golf courses. So,
hey, that's retirement plans, all right?
But yeah, as far as the Harry Potter remake goes, like I think the kids in it are going to be unknowns. I think they should be. Right?
Do you think they're all gonna? Do you think they're gonna do the all English thing again?
What if Robert Pattinson plays Snape?
I'm gonna get to that. You know who should play? I got somebody who should play Snape.
Ooh.
But I mean, they could maybe all English. Cause I started thinking about who I could see in some of these, and it was actually really hard for me because I'm I'm really into the movies for whatever reason. I nerd out on them. So it's like some of these roles, it was really hard to me to think of somebody else to do it, But the kids,
I was gonna say they should use.
They'll do. I think the kids. They'll do
from the movies.
They'll do all English. They'll do all English kids. The kids will be all English
because
could you imagine trying to teach a 12-year-old American dude to do a convincing convincing British accent?
Yeah.
Not gonna happen.
Get out of hand quick.
But the first thing I thought of was, have you guys seen Game of Thrones?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
I cannot pronounce the actual actor's name to save my life. I think he's from Iceland or something.
Yeah.
But Tormund, the redheaded dude who's all into the big lady.
Yeah.
Him as Hagrid.
Okay.
Yes. Well, his first name is Christopher, so you can say that.
Yeah, well, how do you pronounce his last name?
Hivju.
Yeah, there's way too many consonants in a line.
Yeah, can't do that. But Christopher.
A last name shouldn't have that many J's in it. I don't know. But I did see when I was looking this up, somebody recommended Nick Frost, from Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was like, that's pretty good too. He's got the humor
fuck
side
would be
of it.
Dumbledore though?
That is the one I will say of this list. That's the one I could not think of. People have tried to do Brian Cox because he's coming hot off of Succession, but he's too hard. Everything he's in, even Super Troopers, I can't just see him being that character.
Who the fuck is Brian Cox?
He's the. Have you seen Super Troopers?
I have. That's why I was like, who?
He's the chief, and he's he plays the dad in Succession.
Hot take. Do you think Ewan McGregor's old enough to play Dumbledore?
So that's what I'm wondering. Do you bring in somebody or, I mean, technically Jude Law has already played Dumbledore. Is there a way to age him into that? Because everybody online's Ian McKellen.
Yeah.
I was like, no, that's it's too close to a Gandalf, and it's.
They might have to do an unknown
What about
unknown?
Well, what we would know is unknown. Again, I'm sure there's probably somebody who's very famous in BBC, British Broadcast Company.
Yeah, that's a good
production
point. We don't know all the talent over there.
And again,
what about Donald Sutherland?
I don't know. I don't trust Donald Sutherland with a British accent.
I don't know if he's acting anymore. He's pretty fucking old.
Didn't he do British in Hunger Games?
No.
Oh.
I don't think so.
There was one I was thinking of. God, who was it? Yeah, but Dumbledore's one. Like that was the one I was like, man, like outside of like Harry Potter, that's like the most pivotal, like the most iconic role. And I will say, in the first two movies, I didn't like that guy they had.
You didn't?
I did not, because I read the book and like he played it too like old. I hate to say like old wise man thing, because like Dumbledore is an old wise man, but he also is like a very like prankstery, funny, humorous dude. And that dude like didn't play it well. Where the other guy they had did it, I think, much better. Who ended the role, right?
I feel like that's more on the director than the actors, though.
It could be. It very well could be. Well, the original actor died, which is why they recasted him. But
yeah.
But
At
Chris
least
Columbus directed the first two. So.
At least for not putting like the jokester part in there, I feel like that would more be on the director. Because I loved that actor who played Dumbledore in the first two. He was really great. I first saw him on the movie Count of Monte Cristo. He was really great in that. Granted.
Oh, did he play the old man in the jail?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't know that. So there you go.
And so like that guy wasn't super jokey, but like I know he had a little bit more range. Like he could have done that for sure and played it well.
Yeah.
But it just, for me, it seems like the director didn't want that Dumbledore to come off that way. And so he just didn't have him do anything other than be that old wise man.
Maybe. We'll see. I trust the casting, but to your point, for Professor Snape, Adam Driver.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
Would he be too young, though? I mean, yeah, too young.
No, he's about the same age
we think he
Snape
is,
was.
yes. But here's the thing. In the books, Harry's parents, who are the same age as Professor Snape, were like 21, 22 when they died. So by the
Are
time,
you serious?
yeah, they're very young. In the movie, they make them
35.
look like they're fucking 40. You know.
Yeah.
But they're in their 20s in the books.
I mean, Snape looked like old as shit when,
So technically, by the time Harry goes to Hogwarts, Snape would be in his early to mid 30s.
Yeah.
Even if he is like closer to 40, like they could, like Adam Driver is probably older than I am, or close to. I'm 35. He's got to be close to my age, right? Like they could age him up a little bit to get there.
So I was curious as to how close they were going to go with the books, because I was worried it was going to be like a Rings of Power thing, and which I found out for Rings of Power, they have no rights to the Silmarillion, like hardly at all. So it was surprising that they could even use the names. But apparently for the show, they have, it said that they were going to completely like do the adaptation of the books itself. So I'm really hoping they do it completely to the book and are able to, especially since JK is I'm assuming she's a part of it too.
One would assume
It's going to be amazing.
There's people
so that
like
gives me a lot of hope, and I feel like they might have done that with Game of Thrones, because I haven't read Game of Thrones, but I read like the first couple of pages and I was like, this is just like like watching this show. I'm just gonna watch the show. It seems like they stayed pretty decent to the books until they ran out of material.
Right. Well,
it gives me a lot of hope that they'll I'm hoping they tailor the character or the actors to the characters really well, of like even the looks of Harry and Hermione and Ron in the movie wasn't matched to the books. I really hope they match the character, the actors to the book description, and really, really do it detail oriented. That would just make it really special for me.
I'm excited for it. I also thought for Voldemort, Cumberbatch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a good.
That'd be a good one. What about him for Dumbledore?
Ooh, I don't know if you can age him up that hard though.
I mean, look at him with the Doctor Strange gray beard. Looks pretty.
Some like random ones I thought of for Arthur Weasley. So like Ron's dad, Martin Freeman. like from The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Be good.
Simon Pegg's gonna have to be in it.
Simon Pegg will be in it, I'm sure. Well, who knows? It's HBO, right? So they like kind of are very much almost like a Tarantino sitch. So I'm trying to think of people that have worked for HBO before because they like to keep things pretty close,
Yeah.
right? So and then Ava Green for Bellatrix Lestrange. So
That would be awesome. But I don't know. She hasn't done anything in a long time. I don't know if she's still taking roles.
I don't know. Who knows? But
That would be it. That's a good one, though.
and then if I had my druthers, Dame Helen Mirren for Professor McGonagall.
Ooh.
She might be a bit too old, though.
The original Professor McGonagall is like 90 years old.
Is she really?
The one in the movie, yeah, she's old as fuck. Maggie Smith or whatever her name is. She was old in Hook, which was filmed in the 90s.
No, she wasn't. That was makeup. I had to learn that the hard way. Because I was like, she's been old my whole life. And I was like, wait a minute. That was fucking makeup? Damn it.
She was old in the Sister Act too.
Because she was in Clash of the Titans, and that was from like the 80s.
Yeah.
She was fucking hot.
Oh yeah.
Oh, she was hot back in the day. Have you seen Helen Mirren back in the day?
Oh my gosh, is Morgana in fucking Excalibur 1982? I watched that as a child. She gave me very strange feelings.
Well, this has been a roller coaster of an episode. We went from everywhere. I can't even remember how we even started this episode, but I know at one point we talked about cucking a handicapped man as he uses his drool for lube. We talked about ER visits at some point, and then we ended with Harry Potter, and then now Charley professing her, love for young Helen Mirren, which I get it. So, but anyways, guys, once again, this was a fun episode. We're gonna wrap this up, and thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for listening. Again, you know the spiel. Go to iTunes, rate 5 stars, leave a review. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Go to Spotify, leave a 5-star. Outside of that, this is it for another week, guys. This has been the Nooner Nation.